Hey guys, welcome back to Rossoneri TV. Gio here. I'm with Adamo Ritaco. Of course, we're in the pre-match hangout. Torino-Milan just starting in a few minutes at the Stadio Olimpico in Torino. And of course, the official lineups are currently out. Of course, Milan going with a 4-3-3. Diego Lopez in net. De Sciglio actually starting on the right. Very surprising move there. Rami Mexes at the center backs. Armiro on the left. Midfield composed of Muntari on the right, De Jong in the middle, Montolivo on the left. And the front three, very surprisingly, Niang starting on the right, Menez in the middle, and Bonaventura on the left. Sir, first of all, what are your impressions with this lineup? Of course, some unusual changes in this lineup from what we saw from this match, of course, and the one with Sassuolo against Sassuolo. First of all, I wanted to speak about De Sciglio there starting on that right. Usually he has been preferred on the left this season, but you can also play on the right, as we know. Do you think De Sciglio and Armiro are probably the best fullbacks that we could possibly have in this game? And of course, maybe De Sciglio could have a better performance on the right rather than the left.
Well, I think that's what it's all down to, mainly due to De Sciglio. He has been performing to his best when he's been playing left back. So maybe Inzaghi feels maybe if he changes his scenery, puts him on the right, which I believe is his natural position, and maybe something will come out of him and he'll kind of get out of his form that he's been in, and he'll jump into something more positive. So yeah, hopefully this works out. It's a bit risky making all these changes. Playing Armero and then De Sciglio on the right, Niang, Muntari in the middle. So yeah, it's a bit risky doing things like this, but hopefully it works out. And yeah.
Of course, Almiro coming back after that suspension there, picked up that red card against Roma, which was a very debatable red card there in all senses. But next up, Adamo, I want to speak a bit about, of course, the midfield. Montolivo, De Jong, I think we were quite expecting that. Muntari preferred to Poli. What do you think about that?
I don't know what to think of it. It's kind of weird because I see Poli, especially he just came off a game where he scored a goal, so you think it'd be like an automatic start in some way. I like Poli better as a player. He's more technical. He works harder. Montari's more of a lumberjack, just somebody that takes somebody down when they're on the break, pretty much, and score a random 30-yard screamer in the 90th minute, like every 10 games. But yeah, it's a weird change. Maybe it's just because he wants to give Muntari some playing time. Maybe he's been getting a little bit frustrated from being on the bench so much for Poli. So maybe it's just something to see what Muntari does. But again, I prefer Poli.
Well said, well said. And finally, some last words, of course, on the forwards in this match. Actually, Niang, because that is probably the biggest surprise in this lineup altogether. Of course, weren't expecting Niang at all to start in this game. We haven't seen him in God knows how long. To even start a match, that just really raises questions from Inzaghi's viewpoint and really what he's trying to implement with this formation against Torino today. Is he trying to send a message for you, Adamo? Do you think he's trying to send a message to the rest of the team that you really have to work hard to earn your spot, and really, if you play one bad game, for example, what we saw with Esharawi the other day, like your spot could definitely go in jeopardy. And what do you think about starting Niang instead of Cherchi there on the right? Of course, I mentioned in the preview that he still doesn't have those 90 minutes in his legs, but still Niang opposed to other players, it's kind of hard to imagine. What do you think about this choice that Inzaghi did today?
Yeah, it's another odd choice. It's another big risk, as I said earlier, because Niang hasn't played much. I'm sure in training, Niang, obviously from quotes that I've seen, his agent also speaking out how he doesn't want to leave Milan at the moment. He's not sure if he wants to go on loan or whatever he wants to do because he wants to prove to Inzaghi that he can get into the starting lineup. So, hopefully Niang performs. And like I said, it's possibly that in training he was just working so hard and trying to prove to him that, hey, you should give me a shot because maybe I'll make it worth your while. So it could be something like that. It could also be the thing with El Shaarawy, possibly underperforming, so he wants to give somebody else a chance. So there's a lot of factors that can go into it, but I think it's good to see Niang on the pitch. He does have the potential, and hopefully it works out. And with Cherchi, it's an odd move, but I can see it coming because, of course, like you said, he's not fully fit. If a player's not fully fit, you don't want to bring him in and then have to sub him out, or if he gets injured because his legs are too tired or something of that sort. So I can see him being subbed in, probably getting a positive reaction from the Torino crowd, something along those lines. So I think it's a positive but risky move by Inzaghi.
Well said, well said. It's a very interesting lineup to say the least, guys. We'll see how this plans out in just a few minutes, where Milan will take against Torino at the Stadio Olimpico. Of course, a very important match for Milan as they want to bounce back after that Sassuolo loss during the week. So it's going to be a very interesting match and very tough, of course, for Milan to get a result at Torino. Now, just a few words on Torino. Of course, they're going to be starting with Quagliarella and Martinez in the front. They're going to be playing a 3-4-1-2 formation. What really surprises me in this formation is that Darmian will be playing as a cam, which is actually unusual. But this is what the starting lineup is actually saying. We'll have to see if Ventura is just playing some mind games or maybe he's actually going to go with the strategy. But that's actually quite surprising to me that Darmian will be starting in that position. Now, Adamo, knowing the lineups, of course, some last-minute predictions, of course. What do you think the score will be at the Stadio Olimpico in Torino tonight?
I'm going to stick with my 2-1. I do think Torino will score a goal, and it will be hard to break down their defense as it is pretty solid, but I think Milan will get 2 goals against them, so I'm sticking with 2-1 to Milan.
Same for me, 2-1, guys. Of course, it's going to be very difficult for Milan, as I have mentioned before. I think it's going to be a tight game altogether. Maybe we're going to pull something out of the hat in the last minutes. Who knows? But with the formation that Torino is going with, of course, it's very compact, a 3-4-1-2. You're expecting them to not really play defensive, but you could say that the defense is quite covered well there. So we'll see what happens in that regard, guys. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to subscribe to Rossoneri TV. We'll have review after the match, a match review, of course, fan reactions, discussions, and much more, guys, for you to stay updated with AC Milan and, of course, stay on top of them. Thanks for watching, guys. Enjoy the match. Torino-Milan starting in a few minutes, of course. Thanks for watching, and as usual, Forza Milan.